Hello, this is another video by Dave Tromp. In this video I will show you how you can install Metatrader on Linux. So let's see what will be discussed. First I will have a look at the proxy error, and then I will be installing Metatrader 4 and Metatrader 5 using Play on Linux. I will show you how I install a custom indicator and where you should put the code that you have, and the same will go for expert advisors. I will tell you how you can install different instances of Metatrader 4 and 5, and that should wrap it up. So the proxy error is an error that used to pop up when you were installing Metatrader 4 on Wine, and it had to do with some missing networking libraries, window libraries that were not implemented on Wine and that all of a sudden were needed by some Metatrader instances. I haven't seen it anymore, so I don't think it's a problem anymore. So if you still have this, try to update your Metatrader 4 to the latest version, then you should not have this error, and also try to use the latest version of Wine, or even better, just follow along with how I install Metatrader 4 and 5 using Play on Linux. So let's dive into this in installing Metatrader 4 and 5. First we need to have a Metatrader instance of a broker, because you can install the MetaQuotes Metatrader platform, but then you will not have access to different brokers, at least not using Wine. So if we go to my website, this is me, then under trading you can go to my trading broker. If you click there, a new screen will pop up and you can open a demo account at the broker that I use, just to follow along. And so if you click here, open a demo account, you can fill in your information, and you should be good to go. You will get a demo account. You can also go here to platforms and then just go to Metatrader 4 for PC or Metatrader 5 for PC. Click on that, and then you can open an account or a demo account and download the platform. I've already downloaded both Metatrader 4 and Metatrader 5 from this broker. And now let's open Play on Linux, and I'll show you how you can install Metatrader 4 firstly. So let me move over Play on Linux. So Play on Linux is a wrapper for a wrapping application for Wine, and it contains all kinds of scripts that are built by a community that wanted to play games on Linux and using Wine, and they had these scripts pre-built so they would work perfectly with Wine and certain games, but also with Metatrader and things like Photoshop, although I believe that doesn't work too well. Anyway, we have GIMP, so no Photoshop needed. So you can install Play on Linux on your machine just by going to your software center and looking up Play on Linux and installing it the usual way. Then once you have it open, just click on install a program, and then here you can see some scripts that are preset. So if you go to other, then here you can see also Metatrader 4 and Metatrader 5. These are scripts that will install Metatrader 4 and 5 by downloading the MetaQuotes Metatrader. But what we want to do is we want to install from a specific broker, so we're going to install a non-listed program, and then you get this window that pops up and you just click next. What Play on Linux does, it installs every program, or you can install every program on its own virtual drive. So if you look at my home folder here, Dave, there is a Play on Linux virtual drives, and now there's just a default. But what you will see is that when we go through this, it will install here a new folder with a new virtual drive just for the installation that we are creating. So I'm going to call this XM4. You cannot use any spaces, and then we'll click next. We want to use another version of Wine, so we can select the version that will work best. I believe it's 3.20 that works best, so I'm gonna choose that later on. So these are the versions that are available. So this is the latest version. This is the, I believe, the stable version, so I'm gonna select that one, and I'm gonna click next. So for Metatrader 4 you need to choose the 32-bit Windows installation. For Metatrader 5 you need to install the 64-bit installation. So that's something to remember. So now we're installing Metatrader 4, so we're going to do the 32 bits Windows installation. Clicking next. It's showing a Wine Mono installer on my other screen. So here we're going to install it. So what this is, Mono is an open source .NET implementation. So it's using this to add some functionality to the Wine installation. So we just wait a little bit for it to download and install. And once that is done, we can continue installing Metatrader. So it says select the file you want to install, so let's do that. Let's go to, where did I put it? In my downloads folder here. So I have Metatrader 5, and this is the Metatrader 4 version. So let's just move me. Let's open that. Let's do next, and then we get this screen. That's the familiar installation screen of Metatrader 4. So I'm just gonna click next. We can accept the agreement, and it's gonna install. Click finish when done, and that should be it. Let's see, we do have a message that says something went wrong, but I've seen it many times. And then if we just wait, the Metatrader is starting up. So then we just click here on the demo, and we do next, and then we fill in our information, and then we are up and running. So I'm just gonna do cancel because I only have a Metatrader 5 account, demo account, and I will show you this screen. We're just gonna cancel out of this. Then let's go to play on Linux. So what I want to show you is the virtual drives. So here we have the XM4 virtual drive that's been created, and also here we do not see anything yet. So but if we click on configure, we can see here XM4, and we can make a shortcut from this virtual drive. So if we go into the virtual drive, we can see there's a C drive. So if we click there, we can go to program files, and then just like on Windows, we can see here the folder that contains the installation of MT4, and the terminal is the one that we need to run if we want to start the Metatrader 4 instance. So let's make a shortcut. So it's scanning the virtual drive. And then here we're gonna select the terminal that we want a shortcut to be made of, and I'm just gonna call this XM4, and I'm gonna do next, and then I'm gonna cancel out of this. So now here we have a shortcut. So if I close out here, you can see there's XM4. So if I close the Metatrader instance, The only thing I need to do is open my Play on Linux, and then I'll click on XM4, and then it will start to run Metatrader again. So that's Metatrader 4. Let's quickly run through Metatrader 5. It's slightly different. So let's go back here to the virtual drive. So there will be a new folder created here as a virtual drive. So let's go and install and then do a non-listed program. I'm going to go through that again, install a program in a new virtual drive. Yes, please. I'm going to call this XM5. Let's do next. I'm going to choose my version of Wine as 3.20. I'm going to do next, and now I'm going to select the 64-bit Windows installation. So that's the difference between Metatrader 4 and Metatrader 5 installation. You have to select the 64-bit. Now also here we're going to install Wine, the mono installer. So let's quickly run through that. Right, that's done, and now it's gonna install the Wine Gecko installer. I believe that's a engine for a basic web browser. So let's just run this. Alright, so now we should see the other dialog showing up. But still creating the virtual drive. Okay, there we go. Now we can install Metatrader 5. So let's browse again. I have it here. Let's go to this one. So this is the version, the Metatrader 5 version setup. Let's open it up next. And there we go, we can see here the XM Metatrader 5 setup, 64-bit. Let's click on next. Almost done. And it's finished. So click finish, it will open up the MQL5 again, and also it will open up MT5 over here. So I'm just gonna select this one, that's fine. And let me just log into the demo account that I made. Let me look up the information, there we go. There we go, up. Let's click finish. And there we go. So you can see this is demo account, fresh demo account with a balance of 1,000 euros, ready to trade. So now let's have a look quickly at the drives that have been created. So there's a Play on Linux virtual drive, and there's the XM5 folder. If we go to drive C and we go to the program files, here you can see the Metatrader 5 install. So if you want to install some indicators. For instance, you can simply drop them in here at the usual place. You cannot use sometimes you get installers that will do this for you, but if you have if you have it running on Wine, you can only move files to the right location and then run them and compile them. Sometimes you need to compile them. So if we go in MQL5, I believe, well, let's go to an example. So I have here, let me see. So here we have the installation instructions for a position size calculator, which I find very useful. So I've already I will leave a link in the description below, so you can also look this up. And then here you can download for Metatrader 4 and for Metatrader 5 a position size calculator. It consists of 3 files, and you simply put them in the MQL5 indicators folder, and you need to compile also one of the files. So that's the position size calculator file. So let's do that. I've already downloaded these, so let's go to the folder here. So this is MQL5, and then we'll go to indicators, wasn't it? We have to place them into the indicators folder. And let's go to my downloads. Let me see, where did I put those? Here. So here I'm in my downloads folder, and I have the position size calculator. Let's make this a little bit smaller so we can see it on the screen. So I'm just simply gonna move these over to here. Yes. And then all we need to do is compile this file. So let's go back to the Metatrader 5 instance, and now the indicator is not showing up yet. We need to restart also. Let me see, where is the compile tool? It's been a while since I've done this. Insert chart, Windows. Oh, here, the IDE, I believe they call it. Yes, so on my other screen this opened. So here you have the meta editor. Here you can create your own indicators if you know how to do this, and you can also simply compile existing projects. So we're just gonna open up the files. So let me see, where did I leave it? We have to go to no. This is interesting. How can I go to? Let's see, my documents, and then no. Let me quickly figure this out before I take up too much. Okay, the easiest way to do this is just go to your indicators where you just drop them in, and just click on it and drop them over to the editor. And then here you can hit compile, and then you can see it's generating the code. Just wait, I guess I'm almost done, 87%. Okay, 0 warnings, 0 errors, so that went well. So we can close this out now, and now here you can see there's a position size calculator. So if I move this onto the chart, you can see it pops up the screen. I can, yeah, I'm gonna click this. I can set the inputs. So I'm not gonna go through this indicator. I'll leave a link to the indicator. I find it very useful, and you can have a look at it, but this is how you can install custom indicators on Metatrader 5 or Metatrader 4. It will be the same idea. So if you want to do this on Metatrader 4, you just have to go to the other folder and complete the same steps. So let me see, where is it? This one. So if you're on your Plain Linux folder and you've installed Metatrader 4, that's this one. Go to C, you go to your program files, you go to your Metatrader install, which is this one in my case. You go to MQL5, you just drop in your indicator files right here, and if you need to compile some, you can do the same compilation steps that I used, also using the meta editor. Just to show you, here you can also open this one, the meta editor, but you can also open it from the terminal, and you can do that from right here. So if I open Metatrader 4, yes, here also here you have the editor. It should be on tools. Oh, I need to cancel out here because I'm not logged in. I believe here tools, and then here you have the editor, so meta quotes language editor. Yeah, so if you open that one, you will just open the same thing here, and then you can drop in your scripts that you need to compile, and then hit compile, and you're done. Now it's grayed out here, compile, but it will be clickable. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out. Let's see, what else did we want to discuss. So we've discussed installing Metatrader 4 and Metatrader 5 using plain Linux. We've installed the custom indicators, and EAs will be the same way. Now installing different instances of Metatrader 4, let's touch on that. This is, I think it must be clear by now how you can do this. So for instance, now we have Metatrader 4 here installed, and it's installed on a different version of Wine. I can install Metatrader, let's first make a link to Metatrader 5 just to wrap this up. So here I'm gonna select the terminal 64exe next. I'm gonna call this XM5 next. So I have a link now here, cancel out. But in the same way I can install again another Metatrader instance, and I can make a new link, so I have two different instances. So plain Linux makes it really easy to install many versions of or many instances of Metatrader, because every instance can be installed in its own virtual drive. So I think that should wrap it up. I hope you found this guide useful, and I hope I answered many of the questions that have been asked in the comments on other videos. So I hope you liked it. If you did, please give this a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I will be happy to look into those questions and help you out, and maybe make a new video on it. Okay, thanks for watching, and till next time.